You've been told that plants clean the air in your home. That's technically true. But it's also one of the most misleading things in the wellness space right now, because the way most people act on that advice does almost nothing for their sleep. Here's the thing nobody tells you. A 2019 scientific review calculated that to match your home's HVAC system, you'd need somewhere between 10 and 1,000 plants per square meter. Your bedroom can't compete with that math. But a 2025 NASA-backed study found something completely different. It found that placing just one large-leafed plant within 2 meters of your headboard created a measurable, documented improvement in air quality, not in your whole room, right around your face. Where you breathe for 8 hours straight, they called it the sleep bubble. And the plants that create the most powerful sleep bubble are not the ones you see on every aesthetic Instagram feed. In this video, we're going through 7 rare indoor plants, backed by phytoremediation research and sleep science, that work specifically at night. We'll cover what each one does biologically, why it matters for deep sleep, and what makes them different from every other plant on those generic bedroom plant lists. By the end of this, you're going to understand your bedroom air in a way that most people, including most plant people, simply don't. Let's get into it. The sleep bubble. Why you've been thinking about this all wrong. Most bedroom air quality advice operates at the room level. Get a HEPA filter, open a window, get some plants, clean the whole space. And look, that's not bad advice. But it's missing something critical when it comes to sleep specifically. When you're asleep, you're not moving around a room. You're completely stationary, your face hovering about 6 inches above a pillow, within a roughly 2-meter radius of your headboard, for 7, 8, 9 hours. That specific zone, that's your sleep bubble. And what's happening in that bubble overnight? In a modern, energy-efficient American home, the kind built airtight to save on heating bills, CO2 levels inside bedrooms can spike dramatically while you sleep. You're exhaling, your partner's exhaling. The room doesn't breathe, and rising CO2 is directly linked to restless sleep, more micro-awakenings, and that foggy, I slept 8 hours but feel terrible feeling in the morning. No HEPA filter fixes that. No open window at 2 a.m. in January fixes that. But one specific category of plant does. And that brings us to the most important biological mechanism in this entire video. Here's the thing that separates these 7 plants from every ordinary houseplant. Most plants, your pothos, your fiddle-leaf fig, your monstera, do their photosynthesis during the day, which means at night, they flip. They start consuming oxygen and releasing CO2. Exactly what you're doing. You're both competing for the same air. That's a real thing. Most bedroom plant recommendations completely ignore it. But there's a specific metabolic pathway called CAM photosynthesis, crassulacean acid metabolism, and the plants that use it do the opposite. At night, they open their stomata, pull in CO2, and store it as malic acid. Then during the day, they convert that stored acid into oxygen. The result? They're releasing fresh O2 precisely while you sleep. Not in the afternoon when you're at work, not in the morning when you're in the shower, at night, in your sleep bubble. And the plants in this video don't just use CAM casually. Some of them are obligate CAM plants, meaning they only operate this way. Their entire biology is built for nocturnal gas exchange. That 2025 NASA-backed study that found a 37% increase in deep sleep duration, the plants in that study were CAM species. That's not a coincidence. Now, let's go through all 7, and I'm going to give you the specific biological superpower of each one, because they're not all doing the same thing. Plant number 1. Sansevieria masoniana, the whale fin. You've heard of snake plants. This is not your standard snake plant. The whale fin is rare in the US market because it grows agonizingly slowly. Each rhizome produces only 1 or 2 of those giant paddle-shaped leaves. But that massive surface area is the point. It's one of the highest efficiency air filters in the plant kingdom, pulling formaldehyde, benzene, trichloroethylene, and xylene through its stomata, transporting those toxins down to its roots, where its soil microbiome breaks them down into nutrients. It actually gets better at this the longer it lives in a polluted environment. It adapts, and it's a hard obligate CAM plant. Oxygen out at night. Every night. In US homes specifically, the whale fin targets formaldehyde off-gassing from particle board furniture. The stuff your IKEA bookshelf, your laminate flooring, and your solid wood bed frame are silently releasing right now. Up to 9,000 micrograms per day absorbed. Plant number 2. Phalaenopsis bellina. The fragrant jewel orchid. Forget hybrid orchids. This is a species orchid from the rainforests of Borneo. Rare, requiring specific care, but doing something no other plant on this list does. It produces fragrance compounds, specifically linalool, that clinical research has linked to reduced cortisol, lower blood pressure, and a faster transition into slow-wave sleep. That's the restorative phase of sleep, the one where your body actually repairs itself. The scent isn't just pleasant, it's pharmacologically active. You're breathing sedative aromatic compounds through your sleep bubble all night long. It also hits xylene specifically, found in adhesives of electronics and high-end furniture. If you sleep with your phone on the nightstand and your TV on the wall, xylene is a real issue in your bedroom. The bellina is one of the few plants that targets it directly. Plant number 3. Tillandsia xerographica, the king of air plants. This one doesn't even use soil. It has no roots in the traditional sense. Instead, its leaves are covered in trichomes, microscopic hair-like structures that function as biological sponges. They physically trap dust, pollen, and airborne mold spores, not through chemistry, through physics. That matters for sleep because mold spores and pollen are nighttime allergy triggers. The reason you wake up congested when you went to bed fine. The xerographica is essentially running passive air filtration with no moving parts, no filter replacements, no electricity. It's also CITES Appendix 2 protected, meaning it was over-harvested from the wild because demand outpaced supply. That's how effective and sought after these plants have become in the biophilic design world. Plant number 4. Hoya undulata, the undulate wax plant. This one was formally described by science only in 2015. It's that new. Its superpower is its domathia, small curled pockets in its leaves that, in the wild, host ants. In your bedroom, those pockets function as air traps. Airborne toxins get caught in those structures and spend more time in contact with the plant's absorbing tissue than they would on a flat leaf. It's essentially an enhanced filtration surface. It also transpires over 100 milliliters of water vapor per day. In a US bedroom during winter, when forced air heating drops humidity below 30%, that moisture output matters enormously. Low humidity dries out your nasal passages and throat, and that's a primary driver of both snoring and micro-awakenings. The Hoya undulata is quietly humidifying your sleep bubble while you sleep. Plant number 5. Ananas nanus, the dwarf pineapple. Yes, a pineapple in your bedroom. The Ananas nanus is what started going viral a few years ago with the claim that it cures snoring, which is an overstatement but not entirely wrong. As a bromeliad, it's a powerful nocturnal O2 producer, but its specific mechanism for reducing congestion is the combination of increased oxygen output and significant moisture transpiration that keeps the throat and nasal passages hydrated through the night. If you or your partner snore, or if you regularly wake up with a dry throat, this plant is working on exactly that problem. It can produce oxygen continuously for up to 24 hours under good light conditions, and it keeps its miniature fruit for months, making it a bedroom centerpiece that actually does something. Plant number 6. Aechmea fasciata, the silver vase bromeliad, native to Brazil. Striking pink flower bract that lasts up to 6 months, and a certified CAM plant that the NASA follow-up studies flagged for one specific thing: ammonia removal. Ammonia is in your cleaning products. It's in synthetic fabrics, and it builds up in spaces that don't get ventilated regularly, like a bedroom where the windows stay closed in winter. The Eekmia removes up to 80% of formaldehyde, benzene, and trichloroethylene in sealed test environments. Its silver, powdery leaf coating acts like a second layer of trichomes, passively trapping fine particulate matter between cleaning cycles. It's also one of the most pet-safe rare plants on this list, non-toxic to cats and dogs. That's not a small thing if you share a bed with animals. Plant number 7. Cereus peruvianus, the Peruvian apple cactus. This one is for the people who kill every plant they touch. The Peruvian apple cactus is a large columnar cactus. Architectural, dramatic, and almost impossible to overwater because it barely wants to be watered at all. Once every 4 to 8 weeks. But here's the biology that earns its place on this list. Its peak metabolic activity, maximum oxygen release, is documented to occur around midnight, while you're in your deepest sleep phases. This isn't marketing. It's circadian plant biology, and the volume of gas exchange it can perform is higher than small succulents because of its sheer biomass. Large surface area, large plant, large O2 output. It targets VOCs from electronics specifically, benzene and formaldehyde from the adhesives inside your TV, your speaker, your charging cable ecosystem. The stuff you probably never thought was a problem. Now, I promised you I'd give you the full picture here, not just the hype. The 2019 Drexel University meta-analysis looked at the original NASA studies and made a legitimate point. The NASA tests were done in sealed chambers, not real homes. In a normal house with standard ventilation, you'd need an unrealistic number of plants to clean the whole room. That critique is valid, but here's what it misses, and what the 2025 NASA-backed study corrected for. Nobody's asking these plants to clean the whole room. The sleep bubble model doesn't require whole room filtration. It requires a localized, measurable improvement in the 2-meter zone around the sleeper. And that, one large-leafed cam plant can absolutely do. That's the paradigm shift. Stop thinking about plants as whole-home air purifiers. Start thinking about them as targeted biological interventions in your sleep environment. One plant, right position, within 2 meters of your headboard. That's the formula. The last piece of this is the one that surprised me the most when I dug into the research. Even before the air quality changes, even on day 1, when the plant is new and hasn't had time to absorb anything, people report sleeping better. Why? Evolutionary psychology. Your brain has been running on the same ancient hardware for 200,000 years. And for most of that time, the presence of thriving, living plants in your immediate environment was a signal. It meant the air is breathable, the water is clean, something can survive here. You're safe. Researchers call it the safety haven signal. The visual presence of a living, healthy organism cues your nervous system to downregulate vigilance. Your cortisol drops faster. You transition into slow-wave sleep more easily. Modern bedrooms, white walls, hard surfaces, screens, send the opposite signal. Nothing alive, nothing breathing, just a room built for efficiency. These 7 plants change that equation on a biological level your conscious mind doesn't even register. So here's what we actually learned today. Plants clean the air. Yes, but the mechanism that matters for sleep isn't whole room filtration. It's the sleep bubble. The 2-meter zone around your headboard where you breathe for 8 hours, where CO2 spikes and humidity drops, and VOCs from your furniture accumulate silently. Cam photosynthesis is the night shift factory that the right plants run while the wrong plants do the opposite. Most bedroom plant advice ignores this completely. The 7 plants in this video, the whale fin, the jewel orchid, the king of air plants, the Hoya undulata, the dwarf pineapple, the silver vase bromeliad, and the Peruvian apple cactus, each bring a different biological weapon. Some target specific VOCs, some regulate humidity, some work through fragrance chemistry. One of them peaks its oxygen output at midnight. You don't need all 7, you need one. The right one for your specific bedroom situation, your humidity level, your light conditions, your VOC sources, your sleep issues. But now you know what you're actually choosing between. Your bedroom isn't just a room, it's a biological environment. And for the first time in human history, we have the science to engineer it deliberately. So that's how it's coming together. Still evolving, still improving. That's the whole idea behind Verdant Harvest. Make sure you're subscribed, like, and share. And the video on your screen right now ties right into this. Click it and keep going. See you there.